Hello, and welcome to our lesson on Agile and Hybrid Project Management. This segment will cover Agile methodology. In the traditional approach, a project is divided into phases. The result is available at the end of the project. In the Agile approach, partial results are produced continuously. On closer inspection, an Agile approach such as Scrum also goes through a shortened concept phase, a realization phase, and an introductory phase. In the Agile approach, the tasks of initialization are carried out before or often together with a refinement of the product vision, the product backlog, and the release plan in the concept phase. The most important phase in the Agile method is the realization phase. After a defined number of sprints, a release goes live. This go-live phase is comparable to the introduction phase in the traditional approach. Hybrid project management leaves open the issue of how the parts of the traditional and Agile approach are to be combined with each other. It is decided on a situational basis which of the combination options are to be used in hybrid project management, traditional and Agile phases. Traditionally and agilely handled subprojects. Situational combination of elements from the traditional and Agile approach methods, such as daily stand-up meetings and retrospective in the traditional approach. The Agile and the traditional approach follow different concepts in the planning of the project. In the Agile approach, only rough planning takes place in the concept phase. Detailed planning is only carried out immediately before the implementation of a sprint. Planning in Scrum is conducted on 3 levels. In release planning during the concept phase, the following points are determined: planning the number of sprints, determining the provisional order of implementation of the requirements from the product backlog, and determining the go-live dates of releases. The release plan is dynamic and is constantly adapted to the latest circumstances. During sprint planning in the realization phase, the activities of a sprint are planned. The result is recorded in the sprint backlog. The planning of the workday takes place in the daily Scrum. In the traditional approach, planning takes place over several stages. After the objectives and requirements, specifications, have been defined in the initialization phase, the project is structured, rough planning. The project structuring contains the following elements: project phases and milestones, work breakdown structure with subprojects, deliverables, and work packages, with a rough cost estimate. In the concept phase, solution variants are developed for the requirements. For the selected solution variant, a detailed elaboration of the solution concept takes place. The detailed planning of the project is based on the solution concept. The detailed planning contains the following elements: schedule, resource plans, cost plan. An estimate is a provisional or preliminary calculation. However, the project owner or the management of the company expects a cost estimate that is as reliable and dependable as possible. In the Agile approach, this context is taken into account by defining the duration, time boxing, and the costs of the project in advance. The uncertainty then lies in the effective scope of services that will be realized. In the traditional approach, the scope of work is fixed. In the project commissioning phase, the project owner and other staff, such as the portfolio manager, product manager, or project manager, clarify whether a new project is worthy. For this purpose, a project fact sheet and a business case are developed and included in the project portfolio discussion. The project fact sheet clarifies the most important key data of the project idea, namely the objectives, added value to be created, an approximate idea of how much time it will take, what the budget is, and its relation to the strategy. The business case clarifies the strategic relevance, the benefits, and the economic viability. Ideally, the project manager, the product owner, or the Scrum Master are also appointed in this phase, at the end of which the project proposal is drawn up to plan the initialization phase. The steps of the project commissioning phase are: check project worthiness, record the project fact sheet and business case in writing, planning, first rough estimate, preparation of project proposal and planning of the next phase, initialization. In the project commissioning phase, the project is not yet public. This means that communication is limited to a very small number of people or bodies involved. This phase is about deciding whether the project should be implemented or not, or whether the next stage of concretization should first be worked out. The results of the project commissioning phase are questions to be answered. Is the project feasible with the available resources in addition to the decided project portfolio? Is it worthwhile to carry out this project, considering the effort and expected benefits? Process-oriented results, project fact sheet, project request for the initialization phase. Content-oriented results, business case, consideration of whether the project is economic and makes sense from the point of view of the market, corporate strategy, etc. Depending on the type of project and situation, initial feasibility assessments, rough coordination of resources, basic financial feasibility. In the project fact sheet, the idea for a project is recorded in a structured manner and made more concrete. The project fact sheet should be brief and contain statements on the following contents: project name, strategic reference, short description, brief history, how did the project come about, what previous work has been done, expected added value, benefits, and revenue from the business case, expected costs from the business case, and rough resource requirements. Choice of process model, agile, traditional hybrid. Estimated start and end date. Designation of central project roles, project owner, project manager, or product owner, scrum master. Known dependencies. First, risk assessment. The project fact sheet, together with the business case, serves as the basis for deciding whether the formulated idea should be pursued further and a concrete project should be launched. Every planned project is examined to see if it improves the chances of the organization's survival. In the run-up to a project, many organizations require, together with the project fact sheet, a business case with the following content: problem and justification of the project, SWOT analysis, customer needs and market potential, framework conditions, competitive position, strategic relevance, contribution to the achievement of strategic objectives, strategy alignment, marketing mix, economic efficiency, expected added value, benefits, revenues, investment and operating costs, result, return on investment, non-monetary benefit for the company, effects of non-implementation. If a company decides to carry out the project on the basis of a project fact sheet and a business case, the next step is to prepare the project request for the initialization phase. The project request only considers the initialization phase and not the whole project, and regulates the following points: objectives for the initialization phase, basics, on what preliminary work or basics is the project based, delimitations, project boundaries, project scope, dependencies, framework conditions, results and deliverables of the initialization phase, project costs and personnel resources for the initialization phase, risks, project plan for the initialization phase, procedure and schedule. Project organization. This is the end of this segment of our lesson. In the next segment, we shall discuss project life cycles. This course is presented to you by South Europe College. Thank you for listening, and see you on our next segment.